What's up, people? IOBA, my name is TC. You know, the other day I was wondering who Kamala Harris was going to pick as her VP running mate, you know what I'm saying? And that's her running mate. And, it came down to this Shapiro guy out of Pennsylvania and a guy from, I believe, Minnesota named Walz, Tim Walz. Notification. And I was like, okay, so I'm listening to the scuttlebutt. I didn't put no video up on it, I didn't even put my opinion out there yet. I was just seeing what the general consensus is. And I'm hearing all of this stuff about Shapiro. Now, I already know that Shapiro name conjures up, what that Shapiro name conjures up in my head anyway. And so I'm like, okay, Tim Walz. And then I hear about, Tim Walz. I hear about Tim Walz, right? And I hear he is a real progressive guy. And, I hear people talking about how a lot of people like him and, he's done a lot for his state in spite of it being a red state. Yeah. So I just did, my little underground thing. What I really think the powers that be, the real powers that be, want, and what they don't want, and what the real game is, and why they really do what they do. And I had to come up with, they're gonna pick this Tim Walz guy. Because you got to have a white man in the mix. You can't turn the whole country over to the daughter of immigrants and not have no Caucasian Christian male in the White House, nowhere near the seat of power. No, you couldn't put a Jewish man and an immigrant woman in the White House running the country full of white people. No. You got to have a white guy there just in case things go south with Kamala. So that's what's up. And it's time for the pendulum to swing back the other way. See, because at the end of Kamala's term, should she win, she gonna want to win again. And then after her, you get this progressive guy who will probably run. So the pendulum's swinging back to the left. It's going to stop center left. It's going to swing over that way. Because it's been so far to the right, until all of our rights have been stripped away from us, we can't say nothing. You got to have a passport just to set foot across any border. You gotta, in a constant state of surveillance. I mean, not that stuff gonna change under a Democrat, but it's gone about as far as I want it to go anyway. I don't want to see no more of my rights taken away as I get older. And that's what Republicans seem to be wanting to do. So yeah, it's time for this shit to go back the other way. And also, because I talked a lot of shit about Kamala. And I believe everything I said. Kamala's not going to do anything specifically for black people. She said so. And she didn't walk it back. Kamala couldn't have got in her position in any other way than how she got here. And everybody knows the story. I don't need to rehash it. But that's who we got now. We got Kamala. With all her baggage and all her shit, we got Kamala. And we got Walz as her running mate against Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, my thing is this. I am so sick of seeing Donald Trump until I'm voting to get rid of him to make sure that he never come back into power ever again. And nobody like him. We need to reject this dude. We really do. It's time to move on past that. It's time to move on into the next century, for crying out loud. This, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of us electing game show hosts and, you know, hucksters and hustlers and actors and shit into the seat of power. It's just crazy to me. Why Americans do that? I mean, goddamn, they act like they live in Hollywood somewhere. Goddamn, Arnold Schwarzenegger, a fucking bodybuilder, comes all the way over here and becomes the governor of California. With that thick ass accent. It's because of how good he looked in the movies. How good it's just, to me anyway, you're supposed to be electing your best and your brightest people. You're supposed to be electing lawyers and people who, and well, hell, doctors even, people with higher levels of education into power, so that they can take care of the people, not take care of their own pockets. And anyway, that's what we get with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Motherfucking military guys going around the world blowing up shit. They like electing people like that too. It's about time for all that stuff to stop, man. The United States' whole economy is on how many weapons we sell. And in order to sell those weapons, we got to keep wars going on. Now I know, like I said, I know Kamala and Walz, they're probably going to continue with the same policy. But at least you can see a little crack in it. But with the Republicans, no. Just more bombing, more killing, more police, more of the same old shit. It's about time for that stuff to stop. Like I said, you got Kamala and you got Donald Trump. Back in last year, when I was at work, my coworker asked me, who would I vote for out of Donald Trump and Joe Biden when Joe Biden was still in the race? And she said to me, these are your only two choices. No one else, just these two guys. If these are your only two choices, who do you vote for? I said, I'm going to vote for Cornel West. She said, no. She said, forget Cornel West. Those two, out of these two, who would you vote for? And I said, I would vote for Donald Trump. And she said, why? I said, because if you're giving me only these two choices, it's better to have a Republican for black people. Why? Because under Republican administrations, I've said this a bunch of times, under Republican administrations, black people tend to wake up and become more aware. The woke movement started under Republican administration because we had to. Y'all remember Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC. Y'all don't remember them. They scared the living shit out of a lot of white people. Them brothers didn't go away. And they put Grandmaster Jay in jail for 30 fucking years. If he was an operative, like Tariq Nasheed said he was, why would they have put him in jail for 30 fucking years? And Tariq Nasheed is out here, a millionaire, still out. Sound more like he the operative, but I'm going to leave that alone. I ain't going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not calling Tariq Nasheed a op, but just saying, Grandmaster Jay scared the shit out of white people when he built the NFAC with their black BDUs and their high-powered weapons. With Tariq, you get movies and gadgets. And anytime somebody come along that might change the strategy a little bit, or come looking at it from a different angle, he calls them a op and tell them that, they're working for the feds. Well, I don't believe Grandmaster Jay was working for the feds. Otherwise, they wouldn't have locked his ass up for 30 years. Digress. Black people do better under Republican administrations for that purpose, because we wake up. Under Democratic administrations, black people tend to fall asleep because they think everything's going to be all right. In the grand scheme of things, everything will be all right, but in your immediate future, it won't. You're going to be, when I say you, I mean black people, going to be relegated to the bottom rung of society unless we fight like hell to not become that. Which brings me to my last topic, immigration. Here's how I think about immigration. I think immigrants that come from other countries and come into the United States need to drop that nasty ass attitude they have towards black people when they get here. That's number one. Number two, our federal government and our state government and our local governments, they ain't never got no money for no black programs or schools or any of that. But all of a sudden they can pull money out their ass and their armpits for these illegal immigrants. It's crazy. And for these war refugees. Don't forget about them. But the black people who have to go fight the wars, we get nothing. We get excuses and studies and more excuses and more studies. Now, that's number two. So those two main points right there. They come over here, they got this this nasty anti-black attitude, even the black ones. And the government can find money from anywhere and everywhere for them. But when it comes to us, all we get is excuses and studies and bullshit. That needs to change. I don't know if it's going to change under the Harris administration, but it needs to change. To wrap it up, Trump don't deserve another shot at power because he's a nasty, repugnant, racist individual who really tried to overthrow the government. He really did, right before my eyes. He don't deserve another crack at it. He had his shot. He needs to go away. Kamala Harris ain't gonna do a whole lot for black people. But at least we don't have this corrupt motherfucker in the White House enriching himself and his family and screwing everybody else. And that's it. I don't expect shit from Kamala Harris. I really don't. But I'm going to leave it right there, and we're going to see what happens. Yeah. Oh, I am going to vote for her because I'm voting against Donald Trump. And until Joe Biden got out of the race, yes, I was voting for Cornel West. But Biden got out the race. And I'd rather see Harris sitting there than having to listen to this asshole for another 4 years. All right? Y'all take that with you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. Y'all have a good rest of your week, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.